Absolute mayhem. It was absolute chaos. Wind speed is picking up, and this bit here is right on the path. I hate doing that. Hello YouTube, we are back out again, and it is the calm after the storm and before the next one lands. I've parked up in the village of Braithwaite, and as you can see we've still got a little bit of snow on the tops, but it's a lovely clear day at the moment. So I'm heading up for the summit camp, which I'm very much looking forward to. Might actually get some views on this one. It's great to have you join me as always, and if you're a new viewer of the channel, welcome to a Cumbrian Lad Outdoors. Today is a completely different day to yesterday. Yesterday we had Storm Eowyn, or whatever it was called, I can't remember, nor can I pronounce it. And for the first time in my 50 years on this planet, I was sent home from work because of the severity of the wind. Multiple trees down on the way home, blocking the roads, several detours, multiple walls down, farms with roofs blown off. Absolute mayhem. It was absolute chaos. When I got home, no electricity. It was off from the early hours till 8 o'clock last night. But, as I've already said, today is a different day, a better day, and we're getting a cheeky wild camp in. Somewhere up there is Barrow Summit, a cheeky little wainwright that's been on my radar for some time. Perfect opportunity. We are due some quite high winds overnight, 40 mile an hour plus, but nowhere near the winds that we had yesterday. Right, let's crack on. It is quite steep, this one, but we have gained quite a bit of altitude in a short space of time, and we've just got Derwent water poking into view. Now, as well as the 40 mile an hour winds forecast for tonight, there is the potential for a little bit of snow, and temperatures are going to dip down towards the -3, -4 Celsius. With the winds, I didn't see any point in bringing the drone. There's no chance I'm going to get it up. And that got me wondering, could I fit my winter setup into my 40 litre rucksack? So away went the Osprey, and out came the Atom packs, and I've managed to squeeze a full winter camping setup inside this bag, with a few little luxuries as well. It's currently at about 11.5 kilos base weight, and I could have easily shaved a few kilos off that. As you can see, I've got my chair strapped to the top, and I've also brought my jet boil instead of my lightweight titanium cook pot. It's already cold, you can see my fingers are bright pink, looking like crab sticks, but my core temperature's warming up with it being so steep. So if you want to see the winter setup that I've crammed into the 40 litre rucksack, stay with me. And the views are opening up beautifully now. Got Gorbadder Fell there, you see a lot more of Bass Lake. There's Dodd, where I was camping a couple of weeks back. See a bit more of Keswick and Derwent water now. And Cat Bell's just in front of me. And boy, can I really feel that wind biting on my hands. My hands are getting cold. I don't want to break out the gloves just yet, otherwise I'll just end up too warm. What a cracking day for it. We're getting ever closer to the summit now. You can see it just there. Not too far to go at all, and the views are picking up nicely. Absolutely beautiful. As always on my Ascent, I do keep an eye out for pitches should the weather be inclement at the top. For example, if it's way too windy and I need to drop down. And I have found just a place, just in this little gap here. There isn't much wind at all, so if I need to, I can drop down there, and I know I'll get a pitch out the wind. As I'm ascending, that wind is picking up, it's getting quite a bit stronger. I would say we're certainly gusting in places up to the 20-25 mile an hour range at this point. Oh, time for a wee breather. As always with the short ones, they tend to be a consistently steep pitch. You can just see the path to Force Crag Mine there. And once again, we're clearly above Bass Lake and Derwent water now. You can see onto Helvellyn in the distance there, that's still well covered in snow. not far to go now. You can see just how low that sun's getting in the sky, even though it's behind a bit of a peak. We are just about half a mile away from the summit now, and you can probably hear that wind speed is picking up. Just looking over towards Catbells. Off the top of my head, I'm not sure exactly what height Catbells is, but I think this is fairly similar, possibly even a bit higher. I'll put them on the screen. Oh, what a cracking little summit this is going to be. Well, 50 minutes ago I set off from Braithwaite, and here we are, Barra Summit. I'll find the highest rock because there's no trig point up here, and we can say Barra, done and boshed it, mate. Yet another one off the list. Woo! And it's not bad up here, it really isn't. Once again, as you can probably hear, that wind is picking up. I would still say it's at the 20 to 25 mile an hour range, so it's not too bad at all. Just looking around on the summit, it is very rocky. Not many places to pitch up, that's very bumpy. Ideally, I'd like to camp on the summit, given the chance. So I'm going to put the camera down and I'm going to have a little look around, see if I can find myself a nice spot where I can get the tent up. Otherwise, I'm going to have to descend a little bit to try and find a spot. Well, I've had a good look about, and there is a couple of pitches just to the left of the path down there, and a little bit further on, the same on the left. However, they don't offer much in the way of views at all. From both of them, I can just and so see Bass Lake. So it looks like I am going to have to drop down a bit, not due to the wind, but due to finding a pitch for the night with a half decent view, which is a bit of a shame. I will have a look as I start to descend left and right to see if I can find anything else, but it does look like I am going to have to drop down a wee bit. Literally just off the summit there is an option, but it's one that I'm not keen on taking. A few reasons. One, you can see just how wet and boggy it is. It is just off the path, that's on a good tilt. I could probably squeeze the scarp in there, but it's way too much of a pitch. And this bit here is right on the path. I ain't doing that. I'm about 10 minutes into my descent, and Barra is very much like Grisdale Pike in places. It's a very narrow ridge of a path up to the summit, and all the places that I've scouted on the way up and other ones on the way down are just not acceptable. They're either waterlogged, they're too small, or they're on a pitch where I'll just end up curled up in a ball either at the head or the foot end of my tent. I am just above that place where I stopped on the way up, which is going to be perfect. It's flat and it's out the wind as well. It's a little bit lower than I was anticipating being. I really wanted to be on that summit, but unfortunately we've no option, and time's starting to run out a little bit. It's coming up on 3:15, so the sun's going to be getting very low in the sky before long. You can already see it's starting to cast some long shadows and to start to go behind the mountains in front of me. I am going to be just a little bit below 400 metres, which isn't ideal. However, in the Lake District guidelines, 400 metres or above or the last fell wall, and I am most definitely well above the last fell wall, so that will have to do for me tonight. On the plus side, I will have a cracking view over Derwentwater and Bass Lake, as well as the mountains in the distance. Yes, this will do nicely. There isn't a breath of wind here at all. When I was on top, I did have a little bit of sweat on my head, and with stopping for a little bit, it actually gave me a headache. Felt like I scream head. But here, as you can see, I've got a cracking view over Bass Lake, and the other side Cat Bells, the Helvellyn Range and Derwent Water. And with there being no wind, means I'll be able to sit out a little bit longer, maybe even enjoy my tea with this view. And I must say, it's been nice to get the Atom Packs EP40 Plus back on. Tends to be more of a summer bag for me, but a nice little experiment today to see if I can get my winter kit in it. I definitely wouldn't have got the drone in there as well, that's for sure, but a lot of the weight for today has been saved by using this rucksack. I can't remember exactly off the top of my head what it weighs, but I'm sure it's somewhere around about there 650-60 gram, and compare that to my Osprey Atmos AG65, which I think is somewhere between the 2 and 3 kilo. I'll put both of the weights on screen here. You can see just by changing my rucksack I have saved quite a bit of weight. And like I say, I've got my chair with me. That's easily 1.5 to 2 kilos. So without that, I'd have been sub 10 kilo, no problem. Right, time to get the rucksack off. I'm going to get my chair out. I might even make myself a coffee, and it won't be too long before I'm setting the tent up. 3:30 now. The sun will be setting round about the 4:30. So I'll probably give it half an hour, something like that, and then I'll be setting the tent up. 4:30, and it is most definitely getting towards dusk. Not much sunlight left in the sky. You can see we've got some colours starting to develop. A little bit of a breeze going on. Camera won't pick it up, but I can see some serious ripples on Bass Lake and also on Derwent Water too, which is the view outside of my tent. I've just been having a crack with a fella called Nick who's working locally. He's on a 3-year working visa. I didn't get where he was from, but he certainly sounded like he was from Australia or New Zealand. He had a nice little walk up to the summit and he was absolutely buzzing to see me wild camping. So if you do find the channel, Nick, nice to meet you, mate. You seem like a cracking lad, and I hope you enjoy the rest of your time in the UK. Yeah, I managed to get an entire winter wild camping setup inside my 40 litre Atom Packs EP40 Plus. And I love that little rucksack, I really do. It surprises me every time I use it. Back out in the scarp, you can see I've got my chair set up there, which was strapped to the top. And for the regular viewers to the channel, you'll know exactly what's inside my tent. The usual setup, except for my drone. Sea to Summit Etherlight XT Extreme with the Sea to Summit Aeros Premium Pillow and my OEX Leviathan EV900. Jet boil and my gas, my water. The last of my all day Wayfarers breakfasts for morning. And for tea tonight we've actually got spicy chili lamb stir fry with vermicelli noodles. It was supposed to be beef. Muggins here picked up lamb by mistake, but hey, we'll make it work. Tactical ducks ready for a coffee. If you know, you know. Since the sun's gone down, that temperature really has dropped and it's cold on the hands. But we've still got the views, the cracking little pitch for the night. So for now, once again, the camera's going down. I'm going to enjoy the views, and it won't be long before it's time for my tea. Well, the jet boil's on, another couple of minutes, and my food's been in for 20 minutes. The days are noticeably getting longer now, and I'm determined to have my tea sitting outside the tent tonight. It's been a long time since I've done that. Cracking view to enjoy it too as well. The sky above me is quite clear, so we're gonna get a little bit more light than normal tonight. It's coming up on 5:15 now. The wind keeps coming and going, but the temperature has dropped. My hands are freezing. Toes are starting to feel the cold as well. So once I've had my tea, I think it's going to be pack the chair up and jump inside the tent, get the down pants and boots on. But by the time I've had my tea, it's going to be too dark for sitting out anyways. But it does make a refreshing change to be able to sit out and enjoy my tea to a view. Oh, oh, she smells good as well. Like I say, this was supposed to be beef. Picked up lamb by mistake, so we're making it work. We're eating it.
And it's good. Oh, because my hands are so cold, that feels really hot. See, I've actually got a bit of a shiver on there. Realised I got so cold. Oh, very good. That light really is starting to drop now. The clouds are moving quite quickly in the sky. Right, usual dance. I'm going to finish my food and I'll bring you back once I'm in my tent, because I'm going to have a little bit of a crack with you about what's going to be coming up on the channel. We were talking about new tents and new cameras last week, so I'm going to update you on that, and also the plans for the coming year. Got a couple of cool things planned. So yeah, finish my food and we'll see you inside the tent. Well, as awesome as it was to sit out and have my tea outside with the view, like I say, it's been a long time since I've done that. It's nice to get back in the tent. Got my down pants and boots on. I'm inside the sleeping bag and I'm starting to warm up a bit. And just before I get my head down for the night, I'd like to have a little crack with you all. A couple of videos back, somebody commented, "Great channel, great content, but I bailed early, too many adverts." Now, I'm a bit of a technophobe. The fact that I actually managed to set up a YouTube channel in the first place is a miracle on its own. Let alone the fact that we, and I say we, because without you guys, this channel is nothing. So let alone us getting to 3,000, nearly 3,100 subscribers. And I'm coming up on 250,000 views, which absolutely blows me away every single time I see it. I'm lucky enough to be monetized. A lot of channels don't tell you what they earn. Believe you me, YouTube does not pay you a fortune when you're a small channel like me. I've just had my biggest paycheck from YouTube. For the last 3 months, I got paid £73 and a few pennies, which is great, absolutely fantastic. But I run my channel completely from my phone, other than filming on the action cam. And the adverts are basically on or off. I've got no control over how many adverts they are, or where they're placed in the videos, or anything like that. So the fact that I do get paid something is brilliant. Don't get me wrong, it nowhere near comes close to the money that I spend on it, but that isn't the point. I'm not in it to make money. I'm in it to share my love of wild camping and the views that you can get in the Lake District. That's why I do it. So at this point, I'd just like to say a massive thank you to you all for watching the channel and for putting up with the adverts. Like I say, it's just a little bit of money back that really does help me out. Now, I did have a buy me a coffee page a little while back, but that didn't sit well with me. I don't like asking for money at all. Now, I wasn't aware of this until a little while ago, but there is a super thanks button. I've no idea how it works. I don't know whether you can give a little bit or give a lot, and this is entirely up to you guys. I'm not asking for money in any way, shape or form, but if you are enjoying the channel and you would like to help me out, then you can click on the super thanks. It's a really difficult job trying to keep the content fresh. You know, bringing different equipment in, you know, tents like the one that I'm in tonight aren't cheap. And I simply just can't afford to be buying a new one every week. But I do my best to try and keep it fresh for you. Last week I was talking about selling some of my other gear. Now, my original tarp tent, Scarp 1, the Sil Nylon version, that did sell. So I've got a little bit of money in the bank from that. I've got the 73 quid that YouTube have kindly paid me from the adverts. Unfortunately, the hot tent and the stove did not sell. Now if you are interested in a hot tent and stove combo, I'll put a link to the Facebook Marketplace ad for that. You can go and check it out, and if you think that's for you, then you can drop me a message and we'll sort something out. But last week I was talking about either getting a new tent or upgrading my recording equipment, and I asked you guys what you thought. You guys spoke and I have listened. With the sale of my scarp and the money from YouTube, I am £10 short of being able to upgrade my DJI Action 3 camera up to the new 5 Pro. That will be getting bought very soon. That was by far and away the biggest suggested upgrade from you guys. Like I say, you spoke, I've listened. The next thing that I'm going to be buying is the Action 5 Pro camera, and that should see the quality of the videos become a lot better. It's also got a night mode, which means I will be able to film on the action cam only, unlike now where I'm using my mobile phone. Once I've got the new camera, my old camera and recording setup will be going on Facebook Marketplace. If that sells alongside the hot tent and stove combo, I will have enough to buy a new tent. Now last week we were talking about the QEU Stormstar amongst others. However, I've got a Scarp One Ultra and we're in the middle of winter. I've already got a 4-season tent, which is okay unless you've got driving snow. That's another story. So what I've decided to do is I've decided to get something that's going to be a bit more of an all-round. Not fully for the depths of winter, but it's something that's going to be suitable for multi-day hikes, which I've got coming up. It's extremely light and it can handle a bit of bad weather as well. And it's going to be made of DCF, Dyneema Cuban Fibre, which is ultra light and ultra strong. So fingers crossed, like I say, once I've got the new camera, the old camera and recording kit will be going on Facebook Marketplace. Once that goes, then the new tent will be coming. And I can't wait to show you guys it because it is a little belter. Which leads me on nicely to the plans for the coming year. We have 2 multi-day hikes. The first one of which is the Heriot Way. Slightly less distance than the 2 that I've tackled in the past, and very different because we are going to be taking our time. The Cumbria Way and Hadrian's Wall was a good distance and I had a very limited time to take off work to be able to do it. Consequently, both of those we really had to belt them out and get as many miles in as we could per day. This one we're going to take our time. It's going to be myself, Camping Dan 85, and Adam from Adam in the Wild. It's going to be a nice leisurely walk, this one, just taking it all in. It's going to be 10 to 12 miles per day, none of this 26-mile crack, and it's going to be a much more chilled pace, so I'm very much looking forward to that. That is booked and ready to go. The second one is one of Adam in the Wild's making, and we all definitely want to do this one, but it's a bit crazy. When I say a bit crazy, it's a lot crazy. It is still up in the air, this one, because it comes down to the time that we can all get off work or whether we can time it together, and we're going to need some recovery time afterwards. So Adam's idea is 7 in 7. The idea is to set off on day 1 with a rucksack and average 7 Wainwright summits a day for 7 days. Yeah. Yeah, that's going to be a tough one. Boy, what a challenge. Like I say, that one is still up in the air and to be confirmed, but I really hope that one goes ahead because that is going to put me through my paces for sure. That and all the usual wild camps, summit camps in tents, hammock camping in the woods, hot tents for the remains of winter, bivvy bags in caves, usual antics. Safe to say, I've got a cracking 2025 coming. And once again, thank you guys for all the support. The channel's doing really well at the minute and I really feel like it's getting somewhere. I'm getting a lot more views, a lot more likes, a lot more comments. I really love answering your comments and hearing what you guys think about the channel, you know, and I'm in a really good place at the moment. It feels great. I feel like I'm getting a little bit of success after all these years. So thank you. I can't imagine there's going to be much else going on tonight, so what I'm going to do is I'm just going to put the camera down and stop yakking. No drone footage tonight, it was going to be too windy, but enjoy the photos that I did manage to get for you overnight, and we'll see you in the morning. Good morning everyone, it's 4 o'clock and my natural body clock has woken me up. I ain't getting back to sleep. Pretty good night's sleep though, other than about 1:30 this morning I woke up to rather a bad bout of cramp, which was quite painful. Even though I had my earplugs in, I could hear the rain outside and it was blowing pretty strongly. I would say certainly over the 30-35 mile an hour range, but as forecast that has died down. We've got no rain and just a little bit of a wind at the moment, so I'll take that. Definitely not getting back to sleep, so I'm going to get myself some breakfast on. That's the vent open and the jet boil on, and if you look just past the jet boil you'll see we've got some snow outside, which was forecast. They did say there was a possibility of us getting some snow. It does look like it's just the lightest of coverings though. I did have a quick peek out the vent of the tent and it's definitely white, albeit just. And despite having that very lovely large tea last night, my lamb chilli stir fry, I am surprisingly hungry this morning. It's nice and warm in the tent all night last night, so my hands aren't cold, and the Wayfarer's breakfast is certainly going to do the trick this morning. With having no electricity at home on Friday, I was intending on cooking myself a Yeti breakfast, but I only had time to cook my stir fry yesterday morning before setting off. But like I say, this will do nicely. Well, it's now 5 o'clock in the morning. I've been doing a bit of editing after having my breakfast, but my back and my hips are starting to stiffen up a little bit. So I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to make a start packing down and get myself outside and see just how bad or not bad the snow is. Could be a bit of a slippery descent, this one. Just making a start, putting the tent down. Frozen rain. See, we've got a good covering of snow, but just a light covering. Well, that's me packed up and ready to go home. To be fair, that wind isn't too bad this morning. We do keep getting gusts, and when it does that, it's very cold, but it's not too bad at all. Can you see where my tent was? Yeah, nothing left behind there. I've double checked. You can see where I've tipped my water out. You can see I've reverse packed my rucksack. My chair's now inside and my wet tent's on the outside, as is my rubbish bag. So as always, and as it should be, I'll be leaving no trace. Time to hightail it back to the car.
bit slippery. Whew, that's got to be one of the sketchiest descents I've ever done in my life. As you'll have seen on the way up in the daylight, it is quite steep in places, but and with that frozen snow, frozen rain, whatever you want to call it, those steep bits were just like an ice rink. I didn't stack it, luckily enough, but if I hadn't had my walking poles with me, I'd have definitely been on my backside. And getting back onto the path, the tarmac path down here, that was lethal. That was the worst near miss I had with stacking it. But that was a thoroughly enjoyable camp. It was awesome to be able to sit out and enjoy my tea outside the tent. That's the first time in a long time I've done that. Cracking views from the top as well, so I really enjoyed that. As always, thank you guys for joining me on this one. And as I've already said it in the video, thank you very much for watching all the adverts. Like I say, I've got no control over how many go in or where they're placed, so it's really appreciated. You know, it's really starting to help me out a little bit. But it's time to head home, so once again, until next time, stay safe, much love from a Cumbrian lad.